Hi everybody, Trudy here, One Grounded Angel. This is the angel card reading for the week beginning on Monday the 28th of June through to the 4th of July. Hard to believe that we are at the midpoint of the year already. So shuffling for Monday, and the cards that come up are the cards that, or hopefully one, it's annoying when there's more than one, the cards that will inform what we need to know to deal with what's coming up that day. It may be a long-running theme for us that comes to a head, or it may be something completely random. And if the message doesn't resonate, sometimes the card holds over from just that day. So you might find that they're planting a seed there for later in the week even, or who knows, later in the month that will come up again. So what I'm trying to say here is the days aren't super important, but anyway, Monday's card is healing. And this is a message that would relate to any day anyway. And for those of you who are feeling called to start work as a healer, when I say work, it's a calling really rather than a job or work. Obviously there are financial aspects involved, but if that is part of your life purpose, this card is encouraging you to go for it. I'm really drawn to the fact there is so much purple here. Purple is the color of the crown chakra, which is the top of the seventh one of the main 7 chakras that we work with predominantly. And it's associated with our connection to the divine. It's also about sometimes the way we sleep, our thought processes, all of that sort of stuff. So if you're finding that you're dealing with some challenging thoughts at the moment, this might be asking you to challenge those with some healing energy or some more helpful strategies to deal with them. I guess it would be healing for you. Not just in that moment, but on an ongoing basis, so that you can actually get to the heart of what's going on there. This is also encouraging for those people who've already been working on their own healing. This will be encouraging you that you're on the right track and to keep going. Healing is going to be a good result for you. So it could relate to physical health healing. I tend to zero in on the emotional health because that's my specialty. It's the work I do as a healer. But of course, these physical health can certainly be related, and of course, it's all connected anyway. Often, what's going on in the physical health can be, not often, but can be a reflection of what's going on for us emotionally. So Tuesday's card is also about energy, and this is called Cleanse Your Energy. The picture here is of some African violets, which are flowers known to help clear the air. There are a lot of plants that can do this, indoor plants. You might like to Google that if you're interested, or search in whatever search engine you use. I usually go to the NASA list of plants that they take into space, because they need plants that are going to purify the air. So if they're good enough for space, they must be good enough for here. So that's a good thing to keep in mind if you are dealing with a home or a workspace perhaps where the energy is feeling really stagnant or stuck. There are ways that you can lift that, and plants is one thing, doing a declutter is another one. Remember, physical objects that are cluttered result in a real cluttering sense in our emotions and our energy. It's not really healthy for us. They can help us feel really overloaded. There are other ways you can cleanse your energy. Obviously doing energy healing would be great. Swimming, going in nature, cleansing yourself, etc. can all help. Meditation, lots of clearing meditations are available on YouTube and other places on the internet. When you release negativity, the answer to your question shines through. That is the text written here. And the reason I'm reading that out is because you might be thinking, what is this got to do with what the situation I'm facing at the moment? And it might be that the reason you're having trouble making a decision, accessing your intuition at this time, might be because of that congestion in your energy. And so cleansing that will help you feel a bit lighter. You know how sometimes when it's been raining for a long time and you open the windows, you get that cross breeze coming through, you just suddenly feel a bit lighter, as if you've had a bit of a clearing out yourself. Those sorts of atmospheric things really help. So you might like to look at whether you need to clear your space in order to clear your energy a bit more, to help you better make decisions and sort of return to that center point of peace within yourself. Wednesday's card here is Seraphina, very pink, one of my favorite colors. I am the angel of family. So she is holding a baby here. This could be a message for those of you who are wanting to start families. Could be a message of hope for you. We did have a similar message about this last was it last week? Yes, last week as well. It could also speak to some other sort of harmony happening in your family, perhaps your wider family. Perhaps it's your family of choice even, rather than your family of origin. A positive change happening. Maybe there's going to be a shifting of tension or a resolution to a problem you've been facing. But whenever I talk about anything to do with fertility, I also like to talk about fertility in terms of our ideas. It's not just about human fertility. It can be about new ideas that we're bringing into the world, new plans, new projects, new beginnings, all of that as well. It could be about those are the happy change or the happy new addition coming through as well. And encouraging you to nurture that idea or that plan, and to show up for it and be ready for it as much as you can. So sometimes we need that message because we've had an idea and we've dismissed it as ridiculous or not feasible or something like that, and sometimes we need the angels to remind us, hey, this is something, there's something here, you need to act on this, even if you don't quite know how to get started just yet. Thursday's card here is a goddess I can't pronounce, Sekhmet. I think I've said that wrong. I believe Egyptian, based on this imagery, and it's all about strength. This could be, I mean, it depends where you're at, of course. But this could be reminding you that you are not defined by what's happened to you. Sometimes people really feel that because, say, romances haven't worked out for them before, there's no chance that they will work out in the future. And sometimes they need a message like this to remind them that the past isn't indicative of the future, and that, it's safe for you to believe in something better. It could also mean that your past circumstances have given you something that you can use moving forward. Maybe you've learned something about yourself that will inform the way you approach the situation going forward. So trying to see what's happened to you as a strength rather than as a weakness. And the card does say you're stronger than you think you are. I'm sometimes a little bit reluctant to use the word strong when people are struggling, because the last thing that they feel in that moment when they are really struggling is strong. And it can almost feel a bit gaslighty to say, you're really strong, you can do this, when that emotion is just not in their repertoire at that point. It's completely out of reach. So if you're really in a bad space, I wouldn't advise you to try and convince yourself that you're strong. If you need to fall apart right now, maybe that's the thing you need to do. But try to remember, as I said, that doesn't mean that this situation won't be resolved in some way in the future. So making sure you remember that, we're not defined by our circumstances, and that a moment is just a moment. It's not the rest of your life. So maybe that's your source of strength. What are the other things that help you feel strong? Are they the strength of your relationships? Maybe that's something you need to reinvest in to help you feel that strength again. The saying, it takes a village. Things that make us feel strong. Maybe you could be looking at, I'm just throwing out ideas here. If you feel stronger when you meditate, maybe you could be looking at making sure you're not falling off the wagon with meditation, which we all do. Life is busy. Keep investing your time in those sorts of things. Okay. It is a very encouraging message, but as I say, I'm acutely aware that sometimes we can't take on board those encouraging sentiments, no matter how well intentioned they might be. So you have to take this wherever you're at the moment, and adopt it for what's going to work, or adapt it for what's going to work for you at this moment. Sometimes we just need time. I'm not saying time fixes things. I'm just saying sometimes we need time to figure out what we're going to do with an idea or a message, or how we're going to move forward. Friday's message is workshops and seminars. And it's all about our skills for some of you, it'll be about your skills as an orator, as a leader, taking charge of a situation in your life, maybe being a leader to yourself. Maybe it's more about being a leader to your work team or your family or something else like that. It's more specifically about enrolling in workshops and seminars that you may have been considering, leading them if you've been considering leading them. But also it reminds us that teaching and learning is the gig as humans. We're here to learn and grow, and that means we have to remember that we are students, and that means we're going to suck at things that we start for the first time or that we are new at. and that's part of the learning process. There's no point, you're not going to learn much if you're already pretty adept at something. That's not to say you shouldn't pursue it, of course, but it's just about remembering that it's okay to be a beginner. Being a beginner is good for you, and that helps you to learn and grow. So it could be, as opposed to an educational message, it could be about your life lessons. Is there a lesson that perhaps Spirit is trying to teach you that you're avoiding taking on board because perhaps because you're afraid of screwing things up, perhaps because you are afraid of the uncertainty or the unknown, whatever reason it is? What is it you need to learn in this situation that will help you move forward? Not saying that will make the situation go away, of course, but what can help you right now? So that is Friday. I feel that could speak a little bit to that Thursday message as well, which is about the strength and how to help ourselves figure things out. Perhaps these two cards for Saturday will speak to that. First of all, we have creativity, creative project, maybe that you need to take a creative approach to solving your problem or figuring something out. And more, I guess, specifically, this could be about you needing to be more creative in your life, which is something that I struggle with. I will be honest about that. Even though I'm a writer, I do struggle to do writing or even drawing or dancing, anything like that, just for the sake of it. I tend to be quite, as many of us are actually in the society, very outcome driven. Very productivity driven. Is there going to be an outcome for this that is useful or beneficial? No? Oh, what's the point? I'm not doing that. I have to keep reminding myself that when it comes to creativity, the outcome is not the product, it's the process that matters. So we need to be the spending time in something creative, the surrendering of all our thoughts and that, because we have to let go and surrender to what's going on, to that process where it's guiding us. It is a conversation with the divine. It's a very intuitive process, and we have to be open to not knowing, not being able to control where we end up, what happens, and maybe it's not going to be any good, but who cares? So that might be the challenge for you. If there is something creative you've been thinking about starting, go for gold. Perhaps go for gold was not an appropriate word to use there, since that speaks to more about winning. That's not the point here. If you are in the camp of, I don't feel very creative, you might like to look up some videos, YouTube or something like that, that will help you think about creativity in a different way. Liz Gilbert's book, Big Magic, I recommend to a lot of people. It talks about the creative process and how important it is. And her message is very much about, it is not about being good at something, it is about the experimentation. So maybe it's something that's not about art as such. Sometimes people think art looks a bit scary. Maybe it's more about, as opposed to drawing, maybe it's more about moving your body in a creative way, some sort of dancing that you've always wanted to try. Maybe it's about cooking, being more creative in the kitchen. I don't know, maybe you're gardening. Anything at all like that. And essentially, I would also say it's about getting out of a rut. We can't be too mechanical in our lives. We have to be free-flowing, and that creativity is really the key to unlocking that. Second card here is energy work, which, as I mentioned, has been a bit of a theme earlier in the week. Now, as an energy healer, energy is going to mean something very different and bigger scale to me than perhaps what it does to you. So again, take this message how it speaks to you. It could be about you needing to do some energy healing. It could be saying to you that the reason you are stuck in a particular situation, stuck in an unhealthy pattern, is because there is something going on for you energetically that needs to be healed. And when there is an energetic wound happening, I can tell you as a healer, that is not going to go away by you trying to convince yourself that there's no problem. Sometimes, for example, when we when we have an energetic block around our worth, telling yourself you are good enough is not going to work, because on a deep level, a subconscious level, you don't believe it. And that is where the healing needs to happen. It's not something that needs to change on a conscious level, because consciously you already know that you are good enough, but on some deeper level, the wounding around the self-worth is there. There's heaps of information about this on my website. If you are interested in energetic healing, and it's worth working with an energy healer to help you with things like that. But some of you are probably listening to this going, yeah, I don't really feel like that's for me at this point. So you might like to look at more energy in terms of what you are bringing with your energy to situations. Are you going into a situation feeling really flat and bored? If so, maybe you need to take a more creative approach to it so you can bring in a higher energy and be more engaged energetically. Maybe it's about clearing your energy again, as I said with Tuesday's message here. Maybe your energy needs a bit of a tune-up in that way. And if you're not super into the more higher level healing that I'm super passionate about, but I know it's not everybody's bag, then maybe you might like to look at lower grade energetic clearings or healings in terms of the Reiki, or even a massage or acupuncture, reflexology. All those sorts of things can be wonderfully clearing and healing for your energy. They're not deep level stuff, but they can be great for stress and help you feel good and help you see things in a different way. So much value in that. So Sunday's card is triumphant. I don't think I have seen this for a very long time. So first things first, we have a unicorn. Unicorns are all about miracles. So this might be a message for you about believing in what seems unlikely or uncertain at this point. It is assuring you of a good result. That does not mean it's going to be the result that you necessarily have your heart set on. Sometimes there is a bit of surrender that needs to happen in terms of, for example, if we're going on a date, the result that we might want is the marriage and children, but perhaps the result that you need is to learn something about yourself that needs to be healed, or some sort of something about the way you're approaching that situation in terms of maybe you're attracting the wrong types, or you're coming on a bit strong. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I'm just throwing out ideas here. So maybe the result is not necessarily the outcome, but going into the situation knowing that there will be a good result for you, even though you don't know what that looks like, and it may not be quite what you need, or quite what you think you need right now. It might be what you actually do need. But we need to go into situations expecting that things will work out for us. We can't go into situations being like every generation of my family, which is expect the worst and hope for the best. That's not a good, healthy approach, although it feels healthy because you think, oh, I'm protecting myself from disappointment. But what you're actually doing is drawing in more disappointment, because that's what you're sending out. So again, mindset, energy, law of attraction stuff coming in there. Believing that good things can happen for us as well is super important. Sometimes people struggle with that, and again, there may be some family conditioning going on. I know I'm not the only one with that. So, but that can be healed. So energy is huge this week. The energy we're sending out, the energy that's around us, the energy that we are moving through in terms of our physical spaces might need a tune up, might need some attention. We've also got cards here around, I've lost my train of thought there. Some practical things, I would say, in terms of the workshops, and reframing the way we think about strength is important too. So, but overall, I think it's really about that idea of healing and looking at our energy, which I love. But I don't know, maybe it's harder for those of you who are new to these videos or aren't familiar with the idea of energy. What I would say, if that's you, is the word aura kind of sums up the energy field quite well. It is what is around us and sort of within us as well. We can't necessarily touch it, although energy healers like myself can sometimes feel it when we're manipulating it in positive ways. Some people can see it. I have not seen it before. I have had moments of seeing it. I think the thing to remember about energy is that we are more than just our physical bodies. We are more than that. We have an energetic presence, and that is what stores memories that can influence the way we respond in physical form. For example, something that's trapped in our energy or stuck in our energy, an idea about ourselves, our value, to go back to that, our self-worth, can influence the way we act in situations, whether we are willing to take calculated risks, or whether we are willing to push ourselves and challenge ourselves, whether we're willing to risk failure, whether we're willing to trust people even. So hopefully that helps you better understand energy and why it's so important. Lots of information available at my website, www.onegroundedangel.com. I notice people have been commenting on my videos in recent weeks. Please post your website and your social media tags when you post the video. I don't know how to do that. I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to figure it out. Bear with me. I'm not super good with technology, despite having a Gemini ascendant. But my Instagram is @OneGroundedAngel. My Facebook page is OneGroundedAngel. And you can reach me by filling out the bookings form on my website, www.onegroundedangel.com. You don't actually have to make an appointment. You can just use that booking form as a way of reaching out and saying, this is what's going on for me. I'm not sure what I need. Can you help with that? And I'll be honest with you. If I don't think I can help you, I'll tell you. And we can take it from there. So that's probably enough for this week. I hope you have a good week. We're out of Mercury retrograde. We're out of those big eclipse seasons. Let's hope things are a little bit lighter as we head into July. Take care, everybody.